Good evening, welcome to Q Weekly. I'm Amy, and in tonight's show, Brett is going to talk to a very famous Australian icon. Steve is on the streets talking about gays and reality TV, and we have our regular rundown of community events Q calendar. But first, recently Vic caught up with P.Capsis during a rehearsal at Her Majesty's Theatre in Melbourne. So let's have a look at that footage.
And here I am with the fabulous P.Capsis. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Vic.
How are you?
I'm good. It's very early in the morning.
It is a bit.
Well, I flew in last night, and so I'm still kind of, getting into the Melbourne vibe.
And all excited about playing at Her Majesty's Theatre in Melbourne.
So excited.
It's just incredible.
It's unreal. It doesn't seem real, actually. It's just so beyond. I mean, playing this beautiful theatre. I love these theatres. Always want to play them.
And you used to cabaret. I mean, that's your thing, and that's what you've done in Melbourne and Sydney most of the time.
Yeah.
Do you have to change anything, or do you do it in a different way, or because the audience here is going to be umpteen bigger than what you used to?
I hope so. I mean, the thing is, it's because it's an orchestra that's going to change it completely.
Yep.
I mean, usually I just work with Aaron and it's acoustic, but we're having 30 musicians on stage, so all the wonderful, violins and the trumpets, and I think that's going to make me go more because, I tend to go for it, but I think with an orchestra it'll make me go even more
incentive. Now, last time we spoke to you, and Ben TV had spoken to you, Melbourne International Arts Festival last year.
Yes.
And you performed in the fabulous Spiegel tent, which I saw
Love
you
the
twice.
Spiegel tent.
It was
love it.
Just amazing, and it seemed to really bring out the best in you. That intimacy with the audience.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and
the
that
intimacy
cozy
is
atmosphere.
it does, and because people are really close to you, and there's something about that tent as well because the history of the place, and I seem to kind of absorb the history. You know what I mean? I take all the history in and just feel it and the look of it. I just love it. It sort of transports me to another time when people paid a bit of attention to aesthetics. Remember that? Oh, we probably don't remember. We don't remember, but we can look in our history books and see what they used to do with buildings once, like this building.
Yeah. I just want to read some quotes out because there aren't that many people in this world that these sort of quotes can be a tribute to. But there's one person that said that a night with Paul as one to change your life. Paul takes your breath away, leaving you gasping, open-mouthed in amazement and admiration.
Must I sit here and listen to this?
When P.Capsis sings, the effect is electric. One countenances the possibility of a higher force. Do you feel that you have this higher force inside you when you sing?
I don't know what happens. Something happens. Something happens. I just let it happen. That's what that's my job. I kind of let it happen. My job is to do this thing, and I do it. And
particularly when you do, and one of the more famous ones is when you do Janis Joplin. I mean, that's just, you just transform into Janis.
Sometimes I'm not there. Sometimes I really feel like something else comes in, and I don't always feel that, but when it's there, and those four nights last year at the Spiegel tent, something happened those 4 nights. I mean, I was absolutely, completely exhausted and wrecked after every show and didn't know how I was going to do every show. The first show was fine, but the second and the third and the fourth shows, I remember just thinking, where am I going to get this thing from? And something would happen, and it was extraordinary. And that doesn't always happen. And I think that has to say a lot about Melbourne audiences. I think the way the Melbourne people embrace things, they embrace what I do, and they've kind of let themselves go with it.
We love cabaret in Melbourne.
Yeah, and Yeah, I just think Australian audiences are very sophisticated. You know, they're very kind of, I don't know, they just sort of have an intelligence about things. They don't question if we don't understand this. They just go with it, which, you know,
Now, since we
appreciate.
spoke to you last, you've also won some awards.
Yeah,
Yes, tell us.
Victoria gave me a Green Room Award.
Exactly.
Vic.
Yep, fantastic.
I mean,
Of
really.
course.
Hello. I mean, it was really, as, you know, best cabaret artist, I was thrilled. I have it proudly displayed in my living room at home, so I see it every day. It reminds me of, you know, that there are people who appreciate what you do.
Yeah, and we do.
What I do,
And what
so.
else? What other awards have you won?
Oh,
in your
I won a
time?
Helpman Award, was it a year ago, for a show I did at the Opera House with Aaron, and that was pretty special. And I won a Film Critics Circle Award for Head On, my performance in Head On, Best Supporting Actor. I mean, it's great, you know, it's another thing, it's a wonderful thing, but for me, what I get more is, the thing that I really appreciate is work, is getting the opportunity to perform. That's what we sort of ache for, you know, as performers.
But you do it so well.
But the icing is,
You'll
when you get
it.
awarded and stuff, you know, it's nice.
Yeah. Now, what have you actually done in terms of touring since we spoke to you last?
Oh gosh, I went to China. I went to the People's Republic of China.
It would have been amazing.
It was a mind. I mean, it was just beyond.
Did they know about you beforehand? Or?
No, a friend of mine has a venue in Shanghai. She's been there for 5 years, and she has lots of performers come over. And for her 5th celebration, she, because I've performed for her in Hong Kong, she has a venue in Hong Kong as well, and I've performed there a lot. And I went to Hong Kong, and I did a small season, and to celebrate this 5th anniversary of her venue, she invited me to perform one night, and she had 1,000 people packed into this very small room. And I've been invited to go there next year to do a season, but she had me come in, and everyone had to wear pink, and it was just wild. I mean, it was a riot, a near riot. And it was just like this wild rock concert, you know. People were like surging the stage and pressing up against Aaron and screaming and walking on stage, and people coming on stage and taking my photo. It was out of this world.
So
but
next time there's going to be 100,000.
Oh, look, I don't know. Look,
in
I
China.
think it was. I mean, China is wild. It's like a boom town. Shanghai is just like this city of hope and prosperity, and people would stare at me in the street. They just stop and kind of in groups, usually her families, and just look at me, but not in a nasty way like they do sometimes in the street, but they kind of they just sort of look at me curiously and just with these open faces, and I just would stare back at them because I thought they were so beautiful, these extraordinary Chinese.
Now, you've also been busy in the studio recording.
Yeah, well, I've been in the studio. It's a live album. My first album that's about to come out is a live album, and I went into the studio with a wonderful engineer, a guy by the name of Robin Gist, and he was an angel because he was just so open and wanting to support me in terms of what I wanted, my vision, what I wanted to hear, in terms of, like, out of 14 tracks, we selected 9 of the best, and it was such an wonderful experience.
It's called P.Capsis Live.
Yeah, really simple.
It's a CD, and it's out
my first
now?
one. It's my first. It'll be available at the concerts, and it's out in the shops now.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you,
It's been
Vic.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And I hope to do this
Pleasure.
again next time.
Great.
And we'll look forward to seeing you back in Melbourne. And
Hopefully.
you'll be back in Melbourne.
I hope so. I love Melbourne.
Yeah.
And who knows what, but something different, and yeah.
Great, thanks. And don't forget Paul's CD, P.Capsis Live, and it's out now. So if you want to hear the amazing voice of Paul, don't forget to get the CD. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers. Oh, he's so sweet.
Time to realize my crime. Anyway, but Liza got married, and I'm thrilled. Did you see the photographs? Yeah, I was there. In spirit. But didn't Liza, my little baby, my daughter, my eldest, look marvelous? Didn't she look wonderful? And her husband, so handsome. Not a line. You'd never believe he was 104. Wouldn't you like to know what's going on in Marlena's mind? right to the point. I don't pop my cork that way, man, that I see. Hey, big spender. My name is Brother Capsize. Brother Capsize in the house tonight, and I am the high priest of love and syncopation. Now, my 20-year-old brother Aaron and I, we want to remind you of something. We want to remind you of who is the most powerful of them all. And we want to do that with asking you this little question. And that question is,
who made the mountains? Who made the trees? Who made the river just to flow out to the sea? And if someone comes along, you're gonna give him some love and affection. I say get him while he can, hey, 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 get him while he can. Honey, get him while he can. Don't you turn your sweet back on love, no, no.
Thanks very much to Vic for that. And don't forget that P.Capsis' CD, P.Capsis Live, is out at the moment. And it features some great songs like Take Me to the River and Jealous Guy, mostly covers in his absolutely unique voice. And it was recorded live at the City Recital Hall in Sydney. So check that one out. Coming up after the break, Steve is out on Commercial Road in the rain, unfortunately, getting some vox pops on gays in reality TV. And we've got an interview with someone who is a very big Australian idol. Welcome back to Q Weekly on Bent TV. Very soon, Brett will be talking to a very famous Aussie diva. But for now, Steve went to Commercial Road recently and had a rather hard time in the rain trying to chase down some punters to find out about gays in reality TV. So let's join Steve now.
Good evening, Bent TV viewers. This is Steve Griffiths reporting to you from Commercial Road in Paran. We're vox popping tonight, and the discussion for tonight is whether or not gay people in reality TV are portrayed in the positive, negative light, or whether or not the stations are actually portraying these people as themselves. Let's find out, shall we?
Well, do you depend if, is it daytime TV like prime time or Foxtel or pay TV or...
Vox Pop Channel 31, you know you want to. Come on. You know you want it. Channel 31. Can you resist his face? Please? Do that again. It's slim pickings, ladies and gentlemen. No one wants to talk to us. I now know what it's like trying to flog off an American Express card on Chapel Street. Not that easy!
It's just this typical stereotypical view that is in most cases is not true. That's what I believe.
What you have seen, do you think they are actually portrayed as themselves? Or neither? Not really?
She's not sure about gay people, full stop, so...
Okay. Well, neither am I. You're not alone. So, but Leighton, Debbie...
Gay, so...
Oh, well, aren't we all?
Let me think.
I don't think it's really them who they are, and I think it can be positive, but it can also be negative. I'm not sure about that one.
They're showing everyone as a screaming queen, aren't they? And not the general gay population. That's what.
Probably a little bit dramatised, but essentially as themselves.
I'm not her friend anymore. It's really nice to come out with you.
There you have it, viewers. We have a very mixed reaction here from our Vox Poppers. Some positive comments, some negative views, some people who are on the fence. I'll let you make up your own mind. This is Steve Griffiths for Q Weekly, signing off.
Poor Steve. Oh well, better luck next time. Now, we caught up recently with someone who's just released an album of favourite songs from the journey throughout her life. Brett had the privilege of grabbing a few very precious minutes with this woman who's always very busy. And so let's have a look at Brett talking to his Australian idol.
I'm at Borders in Chapel Street, South Yarra, and tonight I have someone who is classified as an Australian music legend. She came to Australia in the 1970s. She's performed in Jesus Christ Superstar. She's been a regular on Countdown. She's been named Queen of Pop 3 times running. She's released great songs, many of them top 10 hits, including What I Did for Love, You, and Something's Missing in My Life. More recently, she's appeared at the Mardi Gras. She's carried the Olympic torch and performed at the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games. She's released a biography, appeared at the ARIA Awards, and recently is a judge on Australian Idol. Welcome, Marcia Hines.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
How was that introduction?
Pretty cool.
Now, your new album, Hindsight. Now, what's it all about? Is there any significance in the collaborations that you do on the album?
Significant. Well, it's always a great thing to collaborate with other musicians because it sort of pushes you and makes you think of things in a different way.
Yep.
And I love Ian Moss and I love Belinda Emmett.
Yeah.
And when I thought I was going to do an album, I thought, well, I've got to do a couple duets. So those are the people I chose.
Okay. Why did you choose them?
Because Ian Moss is probably one of the finest male voices in Australia. And I love the pureness of Belinda Emmett's voice, yeah.
Right, okay. You've got a very great voice yourself.
Thank you.
With your live performances, they're always powerful and emotional. Do you find it hard when you're in a recording studio to try and get that emotion across?
Yeah, sure. Of course, because you do it, it's repetitive too, and there's no one applauding, saying fabulous. In actual fact, what you're hearing is, that was great. Can you do it another time, you know? And maybe 20 times or so. But when you have a producer like John Foreman who encourages you and nurtures you, you're amazed at what you can do. So it was a great experience to work with him.
Good. Now, do you listen to your own music?
No, but you know what? Hindsight is now my favorite album. So I actually listen to this one. I don't usually listen to my music.
Okay. Who are your favourite artists?
Oh, it would be really eclectic. It would be like maybe Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Sting. You think called Babs. You think I like some of the stuff that Katie Lang does.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm not finished. Denny Hines. Yeah, very. And you think Luther Vandross. There you go. Okay. Thanks.
In 2001, you released a biography, Diva. Now, a diva is a term that's been used quite a lot.
I think diva is a word that's been slammed and kicked and punched. And in my humble opinion, I think the word diva meant someone who had done well, but now it means someone who is quite difficult, in my opinion. So I sort of think the title's interesting. I didn't choose it though. So
who did?
My management. And I also said, when they told me they were going to call it Diva, I said, well, that's interesting, because if I did see a book with Diva on it, I'd walk past it and then back up and think, who does she think she is? So, yeah, selling point as well. So
that's good. Now, about 5 years ago, you appeared at the Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras in Sydney.
I did.
How did that come about, and did you enjoy it?
Well, how did it come about? Because most of my friends I hang out with in Sydney are part of that community, okay? And they asked me to do a gig. You know, after all, I'm still a performer, so what a gig. It was really an amazing thing because it was a huge Mardi Gras, and to close it was like, wow.
Yeah, the gay community see you as a bit of an icon. Do you think you're an icon?
No. When I do, I need to stop. Yeah, no.
Okay. Now, what about Australian Idol?
Yeah.
How did you get involved with that?
I actually had to audition for it. So actually, they set up a mock situation in which I had to judge people, and I did an okay job at it, so I got a gig.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you feel your role in there has helped the talent?
I hope it is. You know, I don't know. I mean, because we have to wait for a few years to know really what it's doing. But I think the guys that won, it was fantastic to see those two people representing what Australia is and looks like. That felt great.
Yeah. How do you feel when the talent doesn't come up to scratch?
Well, I mean, see, like when you do something and you don't do it well, you know, so you don't need anyone to tell you. So that's up to them to sort of process it and work it out, and, you know. So I try and give as much positive encouragement as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people out there who want to try and achieve their dreams?
In everything or just music?
Just music?
Yeah, really make sure you really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's what, you really believe is your calling.
Yeah, okay. What are your thoughts on the standard of Australian music now?
Gee, my thoughts are if Australians could take music half as seriously as they take sport, we'd be quite a force to be reckoned with,
Okay. You've been in the industry about 30 years now.
About 34.
Anybody you haven't worked with that you'd like to work with?
Yeah, everybody. Because no one ever asked me, but I wish they would. I mean, I'd like to work with Sting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to work with Celine Dion.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to work with Tom Jones. Yeah.
Great. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
And good luck with the new album.
I appreciate it immensely. God bless. Yeah, cool.
Thank you very much to Brett for that. And this album, Marcia Hines, Songs from the Journey, is out now. And it's songs that she had an affinity with through her journey through life. So check that out. Now it's time for our weekly rundown of events in the queer community, Q Calendar. Playing at the moment is Take Me Out at the Arts Centre Playhouse, which is the play about a baseball player who comes out in grand fashion to the media. And if you want more information about that, contact the Melbourne Theatre Company or the Playhouse. Also on at the moment is the Melbourne Leather Festival. So if you're into all of that great leather stuff, check that out on www.melbourneleatherfestival.org. On Saturday the 18th of September is the 7th annual AIDS Quilt Trivia Night at the St Kilda Town Hall. There'll be lots of entertainment, shows and prizes, and for more information you can call 9846 4785. And also on Saturday the 18th of September, the show bags are returning to their roots with vintage songs from the 80s. It will be at the Newmarket Hotel in Inkerman Street, St Kilda. And so get along and see that one. Saturday the 2nd of October, One Night in Heaven is playing. It's a cabaret show at Chapel Off Chapel, and the funds from that will go to help the David Williams Fund. And for more information you can contact Chapel Off Chapel. On Sunday the 3rd of October, the Victorian AIDS Council is holding its Art for AIDS auction at Chapel Off Chapel at 3 p.m, and that event is a fundraiser for the David Williams Fund also. And it's also a celebration for the 21st birthday of the Victorian AIDS Council. For information, you can call the VAC on 9865 6700, and more artwork is still needed for that if you're interested. On Sunday the 31st of October is the launch of AIDS Awareness Month, and Dracula's Cabaret is holding a bloodlust ball featuring celebrity guests, DJs, auctions and a 3-course dinner. So if you would like more information on that one, you can call Dracula's on 9347 3344, and funds from that also go to help the David Williams Fund. Now remember, if you have an event that you would like to mention on Q Calendar, you can contact us at feedback@benttv.org.au. And please include your contact details and get the information to us as soon as possible so that we make sure we include you. Now next week we should have footage from Whiteout in Mount Buller. That is, unless Joe and Ken break their leg or lose our camera under an avalanche somewhere, hopefully footage from Whiteout. And don't forget that on Thursday at 10:30 p.m. is Face to Face, and it will be the first in a series of Meet the Candidates special, where we'll be meeting the candidates from the seats of Melbourne and Melbourne Ports over the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you all again next week on Monday, 11 o'clock.